In 1942, Gilbert Usher Renwick was a sergeant in the Queen's Own Cameron Highlanders and participated in the raid on Dieppe. Today, he is a police officer in Vancouver and a piper in the police band.
Dieppe isn't something one wants to talk about too much, but no one can say that the fighting men who landed there weren't glorious. They were the very cream of Canada.
In 1942, Heinz Cassino was a corporal in the German 302nd Infantry Division, stationed outside of Dieppe. A Berliner before the war, he lives today in Passaic, New Jersey, where he works as a tool maker.
The Dieppe invasion was doomed to failure. When it happened, it was over quickly. I shall never forget the sight of those wounded Tommies screaming with pain on the beaches, and nobody able to help them.
On the beaches of Dieppe, the lives of Sergeant Renwick and Corporal Cassina came together for a brief moment. Two fighting men, one Canadian, one German, relive that moment in history. I'm Jim Bishop. There is a time, even in war, when friends fall out. This occurs among the Allies in the summer of 1942. The Russians are reeling under waves of German attack. They want a second front in Europe now. This would mean a full-scale invasion, impossible at this time. To lessen the pressure on the Russians and to test invasion problems, the Canadian, British, and American forces staged the biggest cross-channel raid of the war. The objective? A small coastal town in occupied France, Dieppe. The Germans are keenly aware that the Allies are under pressure from Russia to establish a second front. From Denmark to the south of France, the Wehrmacht has fortified the coastline to repel any invader. Wehrmacht General Conrad Haas commands the 302nd Infantry Division in the Dieppe sector. He has designed an elaborate defense, supplemented by the natural obstacles of high cliffs and inhospitable beaches. Assigned to duty with the 302nd Infantry Division along the northwestern coast of France is ex-Luftwaffe veteran Corporal Heinz Cassina.
I have recently attended a course in demolition and anti-tank warfare. Our instructors show us how to destroy enemy panzers with Teleminen and Kohlhaftlager. The first is a flat mine that you put on the ground. The second is a magnet with explosive that you can slap right on top of the panzer. There is talk of invasion, that British landings can be expected. But it is doubtful that anything will take place here at Dieppe. Here the war seems very far away. The farmers are tilling their fields. There is a feeling of quiet and peace about the countryside.
Among the thousands of Dominion troops gathered in England awaiting action is a 26-year-old platoon leader of the 2nd Canadian Division, Sergeant Gilbert Usher Renwick.
We have come from all over Canada: Ontario, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba, British Columbia. We're just part of the troops tramping around England at this time. We're over here to do whatever is needed.
April 1942, the Allies begin planning an exploratory raid on France. The port of Dieppe is selected as the target. The operation is officially described as a reconnaissance in force, an experiment of men and equipment. The purpose, to test German defensive measures and new Allied assault weapons. The plan, given the code name Operation Router, is under the direction of Lord Louis Mountbatten. May 1942. The waiting is over. The Canadian 2nd Division is picked to carry the major part of Operation Router.
We've been sent to the Isle of Wight for special training. We're training like hell day and night, getting into top condition, really good fighting shape. We're assured by our officers that we're not doing this just for fun.
July 2nd, the troops move out. They will be supplemented by a few British commandos and United States Rangers. In essence, though, this is a Canadian operation.
We don't know where we're going, but there's a wild buzz. A raid's to be made along the French coast. The secret is out. We are told that we are going to Dieppe. I think it's with a certain relief that we learn the plans. We have trained so long, we're almost overtrained.
German aircraft spot the concentration of shipping and attack. Operation Router is now canceled. A number of the Allied leaders are flatly against revival of the raid for security reasons. As thousands of troops know the plans, it is doubtful if secrecy can be maintained. Churchill favors going on. Mountbatten urges a revised raid on the condition that it can be remounted within a month. This suggestion is endorsed. The new plan, codenamed Operation Jubilee, is set for August 18th.
Everyone is confined to camp. We're ready to do whatever we're told. There's no panic, no fear. The Padre holds communion, many of the boys attend. We just hope that in what lies ahead, we'll have a fighting chance.
August 17th, 273 ships put out to sea, bearing over 6,100 assault troops, tanks and field guns and small arms. The main landings will be at Dieppe, with flank landings at Puy and Bernval on the left, Pourville and Varangeville on the right. The 4 flank attacks are scheduled for 4:50 a.m. A half hour later, the major landings at Dieppe. 3:47 a.m. Only 7 miles off the French coast, a portion of the Allied convoy is discovered by German naval units. Elements of the Allied flotilla. Yet, unaware of the magnitude of the Canadian force, they report the encounter as a normal convoy incident. The Allied fleet continues on course. It is too late to turn back. 4:45 a.m. Within 7 minutes, 3 of the flank landings are made. The encountered opposition is light.
blue and lilac-colored flares, Leuchtturm. They've made a landing. It's hard to believe.
5:01 a.m. The Germans sound the alarm along the entire sector. "5:07 a.m. The fourth landing at Puy, to the left of Dieppe, is 15 minutes late. It is smashed on the beaches. 5:12 a.m. The Royal Navy opens fire on Dieppe. 60 Hurricanes and Spitfires sweep in to cover the landings. 5:20 a.m. The first assault waves hit the beaches of Dieppe. They are met by murderous fire from the German snipers and machine gun emplacements. The initial bombardment has failed to subdue the enemy. The men are methodically slaughtered as enfilade fire sweeps across their defenseless positions. Within minutes, regiments are reduced to company size. 5:35 a.m. 30 tanks reach the bullet-infested beach. They become prime targets for the German artillery. The well-placed Germans are able to drench the invaders with deadly crossfire. At Dieppe, over 2,000 men are pinned down, unable to regroup or maneuver.
We have driven the Tommies back to the beaches. They are not an easy enemy. They are not cowards, but certainly they know that they will be defeated. They have no place to go but to the sea.
5:50 a.m. The Queen's Own Cameron Highlanders head for Pourville, the second assault to strike these beaches.
We begin to wonder about a great many things as the time draws near. But of one thing we are certain. For troops who have not been in action, we're as seasoned as troops can be. Speaking for my battalion, the Camerons, we are ready for anything. We have confidence in our officers. Most of us feel that things will come off all right, that we won't be doing anything that does not give us a good chance. There's very little fire cover, but a gunboat holds up close to us and lets go at the batteries hidden in the cliffs. Our landing craft drives right up onto the sand. We jump off into a foot of water. Other boats are right behind us. The objective is a farm further inland. From there, we're to proceed to an airfield and take it. We've run into heavy crossfire outside Pourville, but we push ahead toward our objective, the aerodrome of Saint-Aubin. There, we're to meet up with tanks coming from Dieppe.
In the air above the beaches, a significant battle is developing. 69 Allied squadrons sweep across the coast to intercept German aircraft, and also to pin down German reinforcements. Up, Allied flyers make 3,000 sorties, forcing the Luftwaffe to put every available plane into the air. It is the greatest display of air power since the Battle of Britain. Tourville to the right, the Canadians find there is no hope in obtaining their objectives. The tanks have failed to arrive from Dieppe. They begin to withdraw to the beaches.
The Germans are closing in. There's very heavy fighting. We throw up a rearguard action around the edge of the town. This may help more men to reach the beaches.
6:30 a.m. The force commanders are alarmed by the deteriorating situation. The vital headlands around Dieppe must be taken without delay. Reinforcements are rushed in. At Dieppe, the attempts to break into town are met with superior forces. Gradually, the Canadians are forced back. Without tank support or adequate firepower, they are incapable of meeting the German resistance. 7 a.m. In a final attempt to gain the Dieppe headlands, the reserve forces are ordered in. A dense smoke screen is laid to cover the approach of the landing craft. Boats emerge into a world of total destruction. The beach is swept by concentrated enemy fire. Lifespan on the beaches is now a matter of seconds. The Allied position is hopeless. The landing craft are ordered to return to sea.
It seems like a very bad dream. We're trying to get out of here, and we can't. It's unbelievable that we should be stuck on a beach with no place to go.
The men are picked off as they run back to the landing crafts. It's a terrible, terrible thing. They do not have a chance.
The German fire is terrific. The boats are being shot right out of the water. Our losses are real heavy.
German fighters and bombers managed to break through the Allied air umbrella. The end comes swiftly now. The command orders full withdrawal for 11 a.m. Very few make it back to the ships. Shortly before 1 p.m., the Canadian command ship moves in near the beaches to see if further evacuation is possible. There are no signs of life. At 1:08 p.m., a message is received from the beaches. Our people here have surrendered.
I am wounded and barely conscious. It is very hard to accept the fact that it is all over. This is not the way things had been planned. There's one thing I remember as I'm taken prisoner. The lines a Cockney used to recite. And when the war is done and youth stone dead, I'll toddle safely home and die in bed.
At Dieppe, nearly 2,000 Canadians are taken prisoner, many of them seriously wounded. The ones who can walk are marched to the railroad station.
When I look at the beach, I feel sick to my stomach. Soldiers are lying about with half their bodies shot away, their limbs gone. As I look at them, all the heroism of war becomes nothing. The beach below has become a gruesome battlefield.
Operation Jubilee is over. The Dieppe raid lasted only 8 hours. Of the 6,100 men landed, 4,600 are either dead, wounded, or prisoners. The Canadians alone sacrificed 3,300 men from its 2nd Division. The German losses, 600 soldiers. Sergeant Renwick, wounded on the beaches and captured by the Germans, will later escape from a prisoner of war camp and return to England. Corporal Cassino later will fight at Monte Cassino, at Normandy, and in the Ardennes, where the Americans take him prisoner in 1944. On the military side, Dieppe is a stinging defeat for the Allies, a stunning victory for the Germans. But the raids caused the Germans to reinforce the West and tie up 45 divisions and 1,500 planes, all needed for the Russian campaigns. Through the lessons of the raid, the Allies developed new landing techniques, new equipment, and new respect for German firepower.